All right. It says we are live. Hopefully, with the chat, if you see, just as a preface before we jump into this, let us know if the audio is messed up and where it's at with that, and then we'll
True.
we'll go into it. But today we have Blackriver, who's the guest today, and he does some pretty awesome things. I met you through Instagram, and
Yeah,
in fun fact, the similar description is he actually did my watermark for all my photos from
this
Instagram.
is true.
So, real quick, and then you're way into the key world, keyboards and mice, and
Yeah, I'm
customizing
in pretty deep.
those. And you do a lot of customization in general. Like, so I almost like I think of you as a kind of like an artist more than a lot of other stuff. So, but like, talk to me, man. Like, how do you what got you into that space? Like, would you have you always been like an artist and just kind of continued that pace? And
Yeah, so it's funny. Like, I guess even like my family kind of has considered me an artist since I was young. So I've always been into drawing, painting, that kind of stuff. But I never really knew how to incorporate that into like computers and whatever. So just kind of through my path or my journey of getting into the computer world, I came across things like, keyboards. I came across mouse modding somewhat recently,
mm-hmm.
and just kind of through the computer world, I found these channels that I really love. So that's kind of where a lot of my more recent passions have come up. But I mean, I've been a big fan of graffiti for a long
Yeah,
time. You
yes,
can see some of the
it's
stuff in the
really cool. I
background
like the
there.
background for that stuff.
Um, but yeah, so just that's kind of what I'm into, and I would say that yeah, for most of my life, that's kind of been me in a nutshell.
So, and then so that's actually it's also really cool. And I linked your Instagram pages below in the description.
Yeah,
And it's to me like there's some other cool stuff you do. Like you actually do a lot of mods. Like you do a lot of really cool
I
beyond even
do.
just like art and stuff. You do like pretty cool like one of my favorites was when you had that the mouse and keyboard mod where it's actually integrated into your desk, either with the port like that was super. I thought that was really cool. Like, so what makes you like come up with this stuff? Like, I mean, I've seen that style of connector before, but just never
Hmm.
integrated into the desk. So I thought it was really cool.
So yeah, so I think you're referring to like the aviator
Yeah, the aviator
connectors.
connectors. Yep.
So one day I just kind of like thought about it because I got to the point where I had so many mice that I was like constantly going under my desk,
Mm-hmm.
re-cable managing things. It was a
I
big
know these
pain.
feels.
And it's like if I'm changing my mouse all the time, there has to be some like easier solution. I mean, I could have put a USB port on the top of my desk or like just like a little USB hub, but being myself, I wanted to try something ridiculous. So I did integrate a couple of ports on the desk, and I just thought like, hey, they have these like ports that you can fix onto something. So like, why not try it?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, this is just like a cheap IKEA desktop, so I figured, worst case scenario, I mess it up. Oh well, you know what I mean. So, a lot of times when I come up with like ridiculous ideas, it's just me trying to be different. Like one thing that a lot of people ask me is like, why don't you have all this crazy RGB stuff going on? And it's like, it's cool, but it's not me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
like trying different things. I like kind of going my own path. Um,
Gotcha.
and yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
kind of the way I do things. So
That's good, man. I know there's somebody that I know that would be that you just made him very happy by saying you're not that into RGB.
no, and it's funny because so for a while I was like real into like having this perfect setup for everybody else, and I was like, why am I
Mm-hmm.
doing this? And I was like kind of always hoping to get like that 20,000 likes on
Yeah.
or 20,000 upvotes on like Reddit or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, top page of Reddit kind of setup. And then I like thought about it, and I was like, honestly, like why am I trying to build something for other people? And I mean, like, for a while I was into like cars too. I still
Mm-hmm.
love
Yeah,
cars.
cars. I'm with you.
And like the same thing, I always felt like I was doing things for other people, and it's just that's not how you should go about it.
Hmm.
Do what you like. It's your setup at the end of the day. Like, who cares what people on Instagram think? If they like what you're doing,
Hmm.
awesome. Like,
Do it for you,
glad to
not for
hear it.
anybody else. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm. And it actually, it's
I'm the
funny.
one who's sitting here, so it's like, who
And yeah,
cares?
you're the one daily interacting with it, right? So
Yeah.
I think, and also real quick, hey Martin, what's up, my man? He's actually a buddy of mine, a photographer in Germany. So,
Oh, sweet.
but let us know how the audio is, Martin, if you get a chance. But I wanted to say that too, like real quick. You touched on a cool topic to me. Like to me, it's important. Like if you do you, right? If you just focus on what you like and just hey, whatever, I'm doing what I like and that's it. Like it to me, I think people see that, you know what I mean, and it's like, and they
Yeah.
appreciate it more rather than like, oh, that's a fake thing. Like, why would I?
And you're absolutely right because the grind from like 0 to 1,000 followers for me on Instagram took
Hmm.
forever.
Hmm.
And that was kind of that phase where I was like, trying to make everything perfect and
Hmm.
make sure that everybody liked what I was doing. And then more recently, like I kind of started going my own way in 2020, I would say,
Hmm.
uh, like with my Instagram page and like with my mouse modding and all that stuff. And that's when my page like kind of took off, I would say. And that's like when the majority of my following actually came up. So I 100% agree with you. I think if you do what you love, people will follow. And if you're just trying to like force it, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
So
I think I agree. Like, so that's something like I'm not the biggest social media person. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I mean, I do social media for things like as, but my own
yeah,
personal social media is very, it's random. It's not very.
yeah. Who
um,
cares though? Again, it's like post what you like. Don't worry about everything else.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Like,
like, who cares,
I'm with you, man.
honestly?
And I like too much stuff to have like a very dedicated like anything, you know. So like I tend to like
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever see my Instagram, it's flowers to dogs to like headphone stuff to I don't know all
Yeah.
sorts of good gaming. Um,
But hey, that's cool. I
yeah.
mean, I like seeing what people are into. It's like you don't see enough variety. And that's why I feel like
Yeah.
you have to follow so many pages, right? It's like, oh, this guy only posts computers and this guy only posts keyboards. And it's like, okay, now I have to follow like 500 people to see everything I actually want to.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I agree, man. Like, so there's definitely times where I'm like, okay, yeah, exactly that. Where I'm like, okay, what else am I looking for today? Like, uh, that's funny. So real quick, like then, like so, uh, besides the like, so you do custom mice, which is really cool. And then, like I said, if people want to see more, like check out your Instagram page, just link below. But like,
yeah.
so you'll take them apart and like, do you do like more? I think you do like actual hardware mods too. Then you'll paint them and you do stuff like that too, right?
Yeah. So, mice are interesting because they aren't designed to be painted or modified.
That's why I thought they
Um,
picked them.
So sometimes, like when a new mouse comes out and you're the first one to actually open it up,
Hmm.
like for example, I recently got like a Razer Naga Pro,
Oh
and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
one of the first people to open it up. There's one other guy who I'm buddies with that did open it, but it's it's interesting because when you're the first one, it's a little scary, right? You don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Because again, they're not really designed to be ripped apart and fixed or modified. But yeah, so I do lots of hardware and aesthetic stuff. I've done switch changes. I've like on older mice, I actually would desolder and resolder like LEDs to change the colors before
Hmm.
RGB existed. I did that like years ago. Um, and yeah, as for paint, that's you have to at least the right way to do it, in my opinion, is to fully strip down the
But,
mouse. Then you have to go through sanding,
but
priming, making sure everything's nice. So,
and then have like a good seal and that kind of stuff at the end. You
yep,
seal it so
clear
you don't like
coating.
because I've heard
Yeah,
like you don't want to have your hand come off and like there's your mouse on your hand kind of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's funny because so I've done mice for people, like other people too, not
Hmm.
just for myself. Because once I started doing it, people were like, "Wow, I want it, I want it, I want it." So I was like, "All right, I'll do a few for other people." Um, and when you start doing that, you definitely need to be concerned about like durability
Mm-hmm.
and how long is the paint job going to last. So yeah, clear coating is super important, and choosing the right clear coat is also very
Pretty key.
important. Yeah.
So and then like for the you mentioned like when you do the mods on the internals besides soldering and that kind of stuff, do you do like the Teflon stuff to make like things scroll smoother, or do you like do stuff like that, or just
So
mostly?
I will do, I'll show you an example. So like I do scroll wheel bands
Mm-hmm.
just to change the color. And
Okay.
then sometimes too, like if you have like little bumps on your mouse wheel, like that you don't want and you just want a smooth wheel, it's good for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never actually physically changed something to improve like the smoothness.
Okay.
There is actually one guy in the keyboard world that's
Mm-hmm.
actually starting to do that with mice though. He goes
Okay.
by Heiny Bush
Right.
on Instagram. Um, he made a palm scroll wheel for like a few final mice
Yeah.
models, and supposedly it's super smooth. I really
Wow.
wanted to test one because he told me I could,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have a final mouse, so I can't. But yeah, so some people are doing it. I haven't
Huh.
ever tried it, but that
It's
is really
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just cool. Like
for
kind of like
sure.
breaking into that realm.
Exactly.
Chrono asks a quick question. Do you maintain the original weight? And I would think you probably do, but then you also do. You'll do like you said, you'll do cable mods, like where you'll change the
Yeah.
cables and stuff, which they actually look really
So
cool. Um,
yeah, a couple things. So yeah, I completely forgot about that. So yes, I do.
sorry,
I do
my
the
fault.
paracord swaps.
Yeah,
This is one of the ones
that's
that
the
has
yeah.
that connector. Yep. Um, so that improves weight, but the big difference that you notice isn't really weight. It's
Mhm.
like the cable dragging on your like mouse pad.
Mhm.
You don't really notice it until you actually switch over or use a wireless mouse, but
Okay,
it's super noticeable.
gotcha.
Um, and then in terms of weight stuff, so I have completely drilled out mice before. I have an older Naga that
Hmm.
was like 120 grams. Now it's 80. So I have shaved a lot of weight off mice before. I've tried that. But I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, my mouse has to be 50 grams or I'm not content. Like
So
I
that
can
perfect
pretty much
weight.
use anything. Yeah.
It,
I can pretty much use anything and I'll be happy. Like the newer Nagas are super heavy and there's not a lot of room to shave weight off.
to play
So
inside there. And
yeah.
have you ever messed around, like as Martin mentions, are there any ergonomic mice that would be something that would actually be worthwhile to like to dive into? And because I think he has one of the new Logitech ones. You ever seen
Yeah,
those? Like
he's saying the vertical.
yeah, the vertical
Yeah,
ones. Yeah,
so
those are usually wireless, aren't they?
they are, yeah. Logitech's really good for like the productivity stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really gotten into ergonomic stuff too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I haven't ever tried like changing the shape of a mouse or like making something fit my hand better. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. There's a guy that made a trackball called the Ploopy.
Oh, I think I have seen that.
So he's actually working on designing a mouse right now that's based off of like the QMK software on keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like super into ergonomics. So that actually be something really cool to check out once he does finish. I don't
Okay,
know what his progress is like, but
that could
that
be interesting.
yeah, for sure.
An actual custom mouse. And then you also do like when you do. I mean, some of your keyboards are pretty badass too. Like because I've seen some of those too. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're actually also working on your own, right? Like as like that's your own keyboard, like your own board. So for those that don't
That's
know, like the
correct.
like the group buy thing, which is I'm just learning about this a little bit. I'm diving into the group buy world slowly, and I'm learning the pains of that world.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's kind of nuts. But
it is.
like so, and it's so what it is you guys you'll create a board, and then you get the PCB and you get all the parts for it, and usually and then you get it designed, and then it's a group buy deal. And then the people get it, and then they have to put it all together, right? Like they have to solder
Yeah.
everything and all that fun. So it's like a kit type deal, and they're
Yep.
the boards that come out of these things are out of these group buys, now these out of your guys is like people like yourself and other people's design are fantastic. Like they're some of the best looking keyboards you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Um,
People are People are really into this.
Like
It's
very into it.
it's it's crazy because I got into keyboards about 5 years ago,
Hmm.
and I've seen a lot change from then to now, and it's insane. It really is. It's
Yeah.
super cool. But yeah, so I am working on a keyboard design. Initially, I actually like started kind of my career path as a mechanical engineer, so
Oh,
I'm
nice.
familiar with CAD and various like modeling softwares.
Hmm.
So I've kind of always wanted to design something. I've never been like dead set on a layout or a size, but nobody really makes 100% format boards.
Hmm.
So I wanted to try it.
Hmm.
Um, and I've been working on it for like pretty much all of 2020. It's slowed down recently only because I was working with some people on it and that kind of fizzled out. But yeah, I'm gonna get back into it soon for sure
Hmm.
because I definitely want to make it happen. But yeah, it's called Floodgate. It's you can see some like the shots on my Instagram page and
Hmm.
on Geek Hack. But it's yeah, it's exciting because nobody's ever really done the 100% custom before.
Hmm.
So
Very cool.
yeah,
And so you also, which is very like, so you also you did a mat too, right? So it's the with the spaceman. Like,
I
didn't that
did.
go to
Yeah.
one of the big group buys, and that sold out quick though. I want to say, didn't it?
So that one was like an unlimited number.
Oh, it was
So they
okay.
had it they had it up for 2 weeks for like pre-order essentially, and
Hmm.
then however many sold, they decided they would produce. And that was done through the Key Company.
Key
So
company. That's
those,
right.
yeah, so those should be hitting people's doorsteps like pretty soon. They were actually supposed to come like by the end of September.
Oh wow.
So it's coming up
It's
very
there.
soon.
It's like right
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
That's super
There were a
cool.
couple production issues with the batch before mine.
Hmm.
So I think that might have slowed things down a little bit, but it should be here very soon. So
Very cool.
yeah.
And so and real quick, what kind of drove you to want to? I mean, obviously the desire to like create your own thing, which is really cool. And what was that like? The final like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. Like, I'm just gonna do this thing. Like, you know what I mean? And actually get it moving and make it happen. Like, that's such a.
So I don't know. Like I've always kind of been that person that wants to start something.
Mhm.
Like I never really know what it is until I try it. But with the mouse mat that actually got released, I was actually talking to the key company about my keyboard,
Mhm.
and they said, "Hey, like we really love your
Yeah, your
designs.
art's pretty
Would
cool.
you?" Thanks. They were like, "Would you like to actually, make us like a mouse mat?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." So in like a week or so, I came up with a design, whipped it up for them. They gave me the approval, and then we got that process started. So that was actually really quick.
Yeah,
They made it like super easy.
that's super cool.
Um, yeah,
And yeah, like I said, like I really liked. Obviously, I like your art because that's my logo on my photos. Um, and like so, uh, besides that fun stuff, like what is you also do like custom. I notice you paint almost everything you have. I've
I
noticed.
do.
So
Yeah.
you do like even like your, and then you make custom cables for everything from your audio
Yep.
to your keyboards,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. So another fun one is you actually have it's in your Instagram. I don't want you to have to like move anything around, but you actually did a really cool center like speaker system for your desk setup there with like a cool art design on it. And then I think you have the shit stack that you custom painted purple, which oh
Yes.
man.
Yeah. I mean, purple's the best color, so.
Purple is the best color. I agree. I'm definitely in line with that. And
Yeah, so sorry.
oh
No,
no, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna say like what with that being said, what's your current your audio chain? I want to kind of get into audio chain real quick before I jump into some other
Mhm.
random stuff. But like, what's your current audio chain? Obviously, I see you have the some Sennheisers on right now,
I do. I have the 5.8X's on.
five
Yep.
eight X's, and
So, Right now, so for my microphone, I have like that's just a Go XLR that pushes through to a Rode shotgun mic.
Hmm.
But for my actual headphones, I kind of upgraded my shit stack a little bit. So now I have a Loki on top of the Magni 3 and the Modi. And then I also have a Sys because like right next to my desk, I have a turntable. I have an Audio Technica LT5.
Nice.
So I'm planning on using like the Sys so that I can just like switch over and still sit at my desk and listen to that as well.
Very nice.
Um, but yeah, so it's nothing crazy, but it gets the job done. Now I've got like the analog equalizer, so that helps with these a lot. And yeah, and for a while I did actually have the because I talked to you about them.
Hmm.
The
It's the LCDs or the.
yeah, yes, the LCD 2Cs. So I had them for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
I thought they sounded amazing.
They're heavy.
But my expectations were way too high and they didn't meet my expectations. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to use the 30-day return policy,
Hmm.
and I returned them.
Yeah.
So people might be like, holy moly. But like, no, like to tell you the truth, they were like my holy grail from the minute I got into like the audio world.
Hmm.
Everybody talked about the bass being like
The
the
yeah.
best, the best. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to hear these. So I got them and I was like, okay, yeah, they definitely sound good, but I don't know if they hit the mark. So then I like reconsidered and I was like, you know what? I used to own Mod House Argons,
Oh yeah,
and
those are bases.
those are bassy, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I think I actually prefer those. So I pre-ordered or didn't pre-order. I ordered a set of those, but it's going to take a while for them to come. So
Come, gotcha.
yeah,
No, that's that, dude. It's all about that's the thing, man. You have to find your what you like and be happy, and like they're your ears. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
there's no
yeah.
judgment here at all.
No, I hear you.
Uh,
Yeah, it was just like it was kind of like that concept where it's like your hero doesn't like really like live up to what you expected. It's like it was like it was really painful for me to box them back up and send them out because I was like, do I really want to do this? Like, is this the right decision?
it's like
But yeah,
why does Superman have a beer belly? This is horrible. No. Sorry.
all good.
uh, but yeah, it's funny. So we actually have Chrono and Resolve in here right now, and then so they're. I'm not a big easy. I'm not a big EQ guy, and
Yeah.
sorry, and Resolve had a lot of Z's in his thing, and it keyed on me. But they EQ a lot, and so I think that would help a lot too with some of these headphones.
Yeah.
But I personally like if it doesn't sound good right off the bat, then I tend to just be like, all right, yeah.
Understood.
I actually have you know who Alex Odos is, right?
Of course.
So I actually have not his, but I
His
have
Lawson.
yeah, yep. I have these little beautiful. These are on kind loan to me from our wonderful friend Taryn. These are the Taryn specials. He had them custom made,
Okay.
and they look like the ocean. They're pretty crazy
Yeah.
sea
Yeah, they're
green.
gorgeous. Yep.
And those remind me of what what your expectation like because I had a similar experience with LCDs too. Like I had this like I had like I was really it was built up in my head, and every time I heard them I was like, oh yeah, that's amazing. And then but I got the LCD X's in, and the LCD X is like a studio neutral kind of tone or like
It is, yeah.
and so I was just
That's
like
what I've heard at
meh,
least.
meh, meh, and I was expecting like this, and
Yeah.
yeah, so I fully appreciate it. But then these ones to me, they actually I consider those like the rosins are like the ZMFs of the planar world where they have this like really nice mids and
Okay.
slam and warmth to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the moment he got those, I was like, okay, these are like the look is one thing. I'm sure they sound great too, but yeah,
Oh, dude. Yeah,
they look awesome.
they're definitely like they yeah they I'm a big aesthetics guy. If it I mean as you being an artist can appreciate that too. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's honestly probably why I love those so much because they really are. They're really nice looking headphones.
Yeah, man, they are really beautiful, and I think that with speaking of like audio world too, another. Have you ever thought about getting into like IEMs at all? Because I know those are a little bit easier to deal with as far as that realm. But I just
So yeah. I actually recently wanted a pair of nicer IEMs because I actually wear glasses frequently. Like right now, I have contacts in, but I have pretty bad dry eyes, so it's good for me to like switch out between glasses and contacts.
Mhm,
And wearing headphones with glasses is just, at least for me, I can't stand it.
mhm.
So I was like, you know what, I should try some nice IEM. So I decided first I would get something just to test the feel. So I got some campfire audio IOs.
Okay.
Like nothing crazy. Like I didn't really care too much about the
Mhm.
sound. Just wanted to like understand the feel, and none of the tips worked in my ears.
Oh, that's right.
They
That
like
yeah.
would just like fall out, and I'm like, and I was worried about it because in the past I tried like little like nipple type earbuds
Hmm.
like with the silicone tips, and they never really worked, but like Apple ones always fit fine.
Yeah, because they rest inside your yeah.
Yep. And so these ones had the same issue, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So that's what
Yeah,
happened, but
dude,
yeah,
it's
it's a
real, man. The
struggle.
the struggle is
The
real.
struggle is real.
uh, so yeah, I was gonna say like because I actually I have similar like I don't really like wearing IEMs for long periods of time, so I have the issue. But like I have a similar thing where like even me like I'll have one my left ear I think is slightly smaller than my right, so I usually have to like swap tips. Like one tip will be a like a medium, and it'll be like
That's
one size.
funny. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean and there's lots of people out there with like different things, and so
Yeah.
but it's to me it's like I think it'd be like in the audiophile world to me is IEMs would be like you're easy to get into to like ramp up rapidly to like high quality audio for
Hmm.
not as much and then headphones would be the next kind of stage and then speakers are like your go crazy and it's
Yeah.
there's sky's the limit because they have ridiculous
Yep.
things there. I'm
Hmm.
sure not all of it's worth the millions of dollars that people put into it, but hey.
Potentially. Yeah.
In fact, Resolve, he just mentions he got the Monarch. It's a The Audio Monarch, and these are I actually got to try them a while
Okay.
back. They're IEMs. That's why because you mentioned the bass thing, and so I actually have the Blessing too. That's what I was holding here, and then those Monarchs are like for IEMs. I was like I'm impressed by the bass on those things.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I was.
Okay.
That's definitely their showcases. The Blessing two, the is what these ones. These are actually for the money. These are like I think only 200 something dollars. I think for these. And let me
Okay.
and like but if you have ear tip, I'm using the Sedna elastic, but these are the Blessing. Let me see if I get this right. Yeah, hide my eyeballs. There we go. And
Okay.
yeah, it's a Blessing too. They're pretty fantastic. Like I get they're really hyped really a lot, and they are really good for probably
Interesting.
probably the easiest recommendation under $500 easily. Like probably they beat everything under 500, even some over 500. I think personally. Um,
Okay.
but
Honestly, what I might have to do is like go to Can Jam one of these years and try some stuff out there and
mhm,
see if something fits right, and then
that's the
I'll
way to do
break
it,
into
man.
that world.
That's
Yeah,
definitely the way to do it.
exactly.
Even still, though, I much prefer the over ears. So like my preference actually started with Sennheiser was always been my one of my top dogs.
Okay.
Leo back there has my HD 800s on his head. Uh, and so and
That's
those were my
great.
first like big wow was the HD 800. I was just like what like just but that was more because of the soundstage imaging and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, Sennheisers are definitely some of my top ones. Uh, and then real quick, another thing is what are things outside of like the audio and all that fun stuff? I know you play a lot of games. What kind of games do you play? What are you playing currently for games?
So I'm always up to play Terraria if one of my buddies is like
I know this game. Yep.
pushing me to. Um, Love it. Borderlands is one of my go-tos.
Hmm.
I was a little disappointed with three, but
Yeah.
one and two are fantastic. But most recently, honestly, I've been like very disappointed with stuff coming out.
Hmm.
But there's a game I tried out yesterday called Drone the Game. Because in my like younger days, I used to be really into this Flash game called Robot Rage, and this game is like really taking me back to those days. So I've actually been having a ton of fun playing it. It's
Nice.
just like this little indie early access, like first person shooter drone game, but
That's
it's
cool.
like super fast paced, a lot of fun. But in terms of more mainstream stuff, I play Call of Duty, of course, like
Hmm.
everybody. Uh, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and yeah, like, but in terms of like smaller indie games that I love, Hyper Light Drifter is one of
Oh,
my
that's a fantastic
favorites.
game. Yes.
In like art style, incredible,
Hmm.
gameplay, incredible. Like the difficulty is just right for me. Um, Trying to think of other fun ones. I do like playing roguelikes on
Yeah.
occasion. There's a game called Cave Blazers that I enjoy.
Hmm.
Enter the
Cape Blaze was fun.
Gungeon.
100 Guns. Yep. I'm actually a big
So
fan of rogues too. I just never, I can never final. I'll usually go for so long, then also I'll find something else. But like, there's just so
yeah.
much. They just grab you. Like, I think right now the big one's Hades. I actually was on the pre-beta for Hades when it came out,
Okay.
and I played. So I played the crap out of it before I even went. So I like, and now it's like the
You're like
new it
already
thing, and
washed out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like but I'll probably jump back into that eventually.
hmm
But like one of my other favorites right now I'm playing is Lonely Mountain. I think it's that little
Okay.
indie downhill mountain bike game. Holy crap,
Yeah.
that game is addictive as all get out, man. Uh,
Interesting.
and it's
Okay.
yeah, that one's fun. And then I love the Switch for like the indie games. I love the indie games. I'm a huge indie
Me
game guy.
too.
So Katana Zero was one of my other all-time favorites more recently.
Yeah.
That was a really fantastic one. Um, God, I'm trying to think. I've been playing a lot of lately. Mainstream game I had, and then I actually went out and bought a PlayStation for this was
Okay.
Ghost of Tsushima, and it
Okay.
was the
Yep.
first ever. I've had all the consoles throughout all the consoles. Like I've always had all three at any given point in time. And
hmm
Ghost of Tsushima is the first Sony game I've ever platinumed. Like, or I got all the
Wow.
trophies. I got every.
Okay.
It wasn't a hard one to get. It was so keep that with a grain of salt. But it
Fair
is the
enough.
first one that I ever. And that game just spoke to me. I love it. I even have like a Ghost of Tsushima face samurai mask above Leo's head over
That's awesome.
there.
That's awesome.
uh,
Yeah, because I used to be a big PlayStation guy, and I think the only games I ever really want to platinum are Ratchet and Clank
oh,
games.
those are
Always,
so beautiful
always
too.
go for it. Yeah, yeah, love them.
That's why I was playing Spider Man until Ghost of Tsushima came out, the new Spider Man
Okay,
game, and that was like my buddy's a huge Spider Man fan. Like he is Spider Man
okay,
geek to the ninth degree, and
yeah.
and like so he's like it's the best. I'm like whatever, dude. You're just a Spider Man fanboy. It's not. It's good, you know. And then so I finally I got the PlayStation. While I wait for Ghost, the game the PlayStation I bought was it had Spider Man with it, and so
Okay,
I played that, and I was like, okay, this is one of the best superhero games I've played in a long time. So.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think that was one of the games that honestly, like, really made the PlayStation 4 take it up a notch over the Xbox
mhm.
last time around. So yeah,
Yep, yep.
I've heard really good things. I've never played it though, so.
Yeah. Oh, and Crash Bandicoot 4. Oh, I was like completely wrecked my knee on my desk and everything. So, um, but actually, today, there's a game I'm excited
That's
about.
oh, okay.
Today is the Star Wars Squadron game.
Okay.
It's the it's
I don't know if I've seen that.
it's on PC, Xbox. I think it comes out today. It's the Star Wars Squad. It's basically X-wing versus Tie Fighter, but for today's generation.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, I did see that. That does look super cool.
Yeah, so I might have to download that and check that out. And then yeah, they're saying Crash Bandicoot 4 is coming out, so that's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting.
that's exciting. It's been a while since the
Yeah,
new Crash has come out.
and yeah, I'm actually. I mean, well, I mean, you've seen it because I for my inspiration for my stuff, but I have a full old school Nintendo
It's
and
awesome.
and I mean, I can't really get the view in there, but I have an NES controller right here. But like,
hmm
I think Ninja Gaiden's on the back here. Um, and like I just love that stuff, man. Like that's because I grew up on that. Like you're talking about, like you have that nostalgia factor for like. So for me, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
the side, like the Castlevania games, the Metroid games, and
Hmm.
that kind of. In fact, on my TV right here, I have the mini NES and the mini SNES, and my daughter will sit here next to my space, and I'll try to get her to play it. She's like 4, so it's like, but
Yep. Hey,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how I got into games, playing the NES when I was like 5 years old. So
Yeah, same, man. Like I was little kid, little buck playing that stuff. Actually, mine was Commodore 64, so an Atari. So and then
okay.
NES was the one where I was cognizant enough to like
Hmm.
actually start to beat games and stuff.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, trying to think some other fun like games like because I had to pull out my Switch. It's in my in the bedroom because it sits on my nightstand. So it's
Okay.
like the thing before bed. On.
Yep. So
um,
what's your like favorite console then of all time?
favorite console of all time.
Yeah.
I would have to say SNES, honestly,
Okay.
just because I had the most memories there, right?
Yeah.
And that was I think that was when I really was like, I'm a gamer now. Was the SNES like?
Understood.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like,
I would say GameCube would be that system for me, so I totally get it. Yep.
it just that's and then as far as the most fun I've ever had gaming and like at any point in time in my life where it was like just nonstop super fun,
Hmm.
it was the original Xbox and Halo.
Okay.
And I remember
Okay.
having Halo LAN parties in my apartment. Like we'd set up multiple TVs and multiple, and we'd
Yep.
all link them together. And we'd all be sitting there like drinking and playing. Like it was all local
Yep.
co-op, if I local fight. It was just like such a blast to like scream at your buddies, like, "Oh, I got you, haha!" Or like
Yep.
just having it was just, oh, dude. I remember we did that for months, dude. It was just so much
Yeah.
fun. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, like I think that was probably the most fun I had playing game. Like I think that's why Halo, like for me, that's a game that I like holds a lot of nostalgia. Is the Halo because
Sure.
of that, not necessarily because the game was like the best game ever, but just because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you? What's something like that? Like what's something that was like a big one that was just like not necessarily your, but like something just like that fun.
Um, honestly, probably the biggest for me has been like up to this point at least Terraria on like school snow days back in high school. Like we would all just jump on and like play Terraria for like 12 hours. It was ridiculous. A little different because it wasn't like a LAN party,
Hmm.
but um,
But
yeah,
you still have the
man, it's
communication. You're
just
still having, yeah.
exactly, yeah. And like speaking of which, like Discord,
Oh God,
it's like changed the game for communication.
yeah.
Like I like for a while we were on Teams. Like back
Hmm.
then we were using TeamSpeak. It was like buggy. It was
Yeah,
awful. Oh, but yeah, no.
yeah.
Either way, that's definitely probably the highlight of my gaming life so far. So
Very cool.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think isn't that cool? Like when you have those moments where you have like your friends and you
it
just have
is.
that. It's like you just have like this nonstop just blast and going at it.
Oh yeah, oh
Um,
yeah.
and then I was just trying to think like some others like so. Um, I'm trying to think. There's a game I've been wanting to tell you about, and it's just like around the tip of my tongue. Oh, it was that Ninja Gaiden clone game, and I was like, I remember getting way into that, and it was like I can't remember. I have to look at it again.
Okay.
Um, so everyone's in the chat now talking about like the different stuff like
I love it.
that. Yeah, the N64 was that was I remember N64 being a pretty fun time. I'm trying to think like I remember I sold my Sega Genesis to get the
Okay.
SNES.
Okay.
I remember I traded in like or I trade. It was a friend. It was one of those things like my friend had the SNES, but he was like one of those kids that just didn't care. And so I was
Mm.
like, I'll give you this, and this for your SNES in Mario World. And we like did this like I'm sure like if our parents found out they would be like, what the
Yeah, exactly.
a Batman
It's
toy
better.
like for your
Yeah. It's best not to like mention those trades. Yeah, that's for
like,
sure.
wait a minute. Yeah, like, oh man, sorry. Like now I'm thinking about all this nostalgia for video games and stuff like that. So actually, another thing, like regarding your art though, to kind of tie back to some of your art stuff, have you ever done the collectible like dunnies or that kind of stuff?
Oh, I haven't. And like it's funny that you bring that up because recently I've kind of been getting away from painting mice a little bit, just trying to do like my own mice,
Hmm.
not so much like other people's. And I've been like, oh, like what should I start painting next? And I thought about maybe doing, yeah, like the Dunnies or like doing, because I'm a big Quicks fan,
Okay.
and he has some blanks. Uh, so yeah, I've considered trying one of those. I considered even like making a resin cast of like something that I sculpt and then start like doing
Doing
something
something.
like that. But yeah, so
That's
for
cool.
sure.
Yeah, I'm. It's not obvious, but I have a whole, and they're all over the house. My wife's probably like, "What the?" She gets like, yeah, the turtles and the other stuff. But yeah, I have a ton of like action figure things and collectibles.
The big boy toys,
Yeah.
yeah. I love it.
Well,
I
my
love
wife,
it.
she actually got me the giant Leonardo behind me. She actually
Okay.
bought that for me, so it's her own fault. So I blame her for that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I actually have. So I haven't even opened it because I just haven't had the time to place it. But actually, the reason I brought it because I actually have like a couple like this one,
Yep.
with Flam, like the little dunny. And that's just
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like right up here because I see these all the time every once in a while, and they're hard to get. Like they're really like especially the custom artist ones. They're just really hard to get sometimes.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I was thinking, like, dude, that fits your style a lot. Like, I could totally see some of your like your graffiti art on like a dunny kind of thing, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I would definitely consider trying that in the near future. Honestly, that would be fun.
it'd be really cool. I'd love to see what you come up with because seriously,
It's
if everyone's watching, you should look at some of his art. It's really cool. Really it fits
I
my style at
appreciate
least.
that.
Oh, Master of the Universe. Oh yeah, a little He-Man action, a little Skeletor and some He-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff, man. Um, actually, I want to tie it back to some more audio. Sorry, I'm being all
That's
ADHD.
okay. We
Uh,
can move all over. I don't
scatterbrain
care.
it. Um, like so, real quick, cause I meant to ask it a while ago, and I got sidetracked by talking video games and stuff. But
Sure. No
what
problem.
you mentioned you're getting the Argons. Is there anything
Hmm.
else on your radar for that kind of stuff? Like, what's that?
Good question.
Like, what would be your next big outside the Argons? What would be something you'd want to pick up next for like a cool headphone or even speakers? I mean, just
Ooh.
speakers are a whole other game,
Um,
so this might be dangerous.
they are. And the thing with speakers too is like I feel like if I go down that path, like I need to set the room up right and like
That's why I
really
love.
like exactly. It's just like kind of easier. Other than Argons, good question. Um, like I said, Odyssey was kind of my end game. Other than ZMF,
Hmm.
but again, that's something that I have to try for sure,
Yeah.
especially after this Odyssey experience. But yeah, honestly, yeah, ZMF stuff is cool. Like I love the Aeolus. I think I'm
Oh,
pronouncing that right.
yeah. I have it
But
in the case back here. Yeah, fantastic, dude.
okay. Then like I said, I'm gonna have to test these things out because
Yeah,
I
man.
I need I need I need to up it a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah. Sorry. Continue. I'm interrupting you. Go.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because the one thing that I'm actually working on right now, so this is taking like a large chunk out of my budget. I'm building a new computer right now.
Know these
So
feels.
that's kind of my big thing.
Yeah.
Like my case is at the powder coater right now. Just before we got on this call, I was communicating with someone to have a like an acrylic panel
Oh,
cut
nice.
out for that. So that's gonna be a big one for me. So I'm gonna have to like save up a little bit after
Oh,
that.
dude.
But yeah,
I'm constantly rotating my budgets between all my different hobbies. Like I have a
the
lens I
struggle
need
is
to
real.
get. Yeah, the struggle's real. And
Hmm.
then like there's some keyboards that now that I'm getting into the keyboard world, I'm like, okay, I need to now realign some budget for a keyboard buy, and like,
Yep.
and then the keyboard buy is not it's not just the keyboard kit. You have to buy all the caps, you have to buy all the
This is
the
true.
stabs, and it's like then you have to get all the lube, and you have to get all the parts
Hmm.
to like do if you want to do it proper, like. So it's gonna be a thing. Um,
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, I finished a keyboard yesterday. I can pull that up
yeah,
here.
I want to see some of your
Um,
keyboard builds. Look at that thing.
so
Oh, that is
so
awesome.
this is like just acrylic sheets there's a guy that I kind of like met on Alex Otos's Discord who makes these crazy keyboards. Now this is
Damn.
definitely not the set that I want to use.
Mhm.
This is just kind of on here for the time being.
Time being, yeah.
But yeah,
Dude,
so I'm
that
using
is
novelty
nice.
creams on here, and yeah, this is a fun one.
Dude, that is.
So
I like that, dude. That is really nice. That is sexy. I like that.
yeah, thank you. Yeah,
That's
I wanted something like a little on the crazy end because for a while now I've been like, yo, I gotta try something pink. Like I've never done it before. I've got to try it. So yeah.
yeah, man. Hey, dude, I'm secure in my manly. Dude, I'm a married dude with kid. I have no one I'm trying to impress with my love of purple and all that other fun stuff.
Honestly, yeah, I'm with you there. Like it's
you know, uh, but yeah, like I love like I want to do something like that too. I want to have like some really nice really like so I really want something that's like this one, like with the purple, like the galaxy purple style. Um,
oh yeah.
like I love
I've
that look
got
too.
this guy here.
Oh, that one's so dope. Reminds me of the Commodore
That would
64 keyboard, man. That thing is so dope.
yeah,
That thing
that's
is
true. That's so true. The super thick
the super
bezels,
thick, just
yeah.
like beefy, chunky thing.
Yep.
That's just awesome. Yeah, no, I love that one on yours. That one's sick. And then you have a pretty dope split. You had a split key that I really want to try eventually. Is one of those, like where it's like the yeah, and then there's
Yeah,
someone.
you can kind of see it in the background there, yeah.
Oh, they're so nice. And then you have that really unique candy bar one, and like. And
Hmm.
all the stuff I've always gotten, like I have, I'm going to unplug my keyboard so you might hear a little boop, but, oh, look. Yep, there it went. But like I just have the Kono Store Kira. So like I've always bought like just pre-made, like, where you can swap out the stabs and stuff. And
Yep.
so, and that's always, and everyone always like, oh, you're way into keyboards. So I'm like, oh, you have no idea. I'm like a baby.
Yeah, no, it's a rabbit hole, that's for sure.
yeah,
And
man.
it's funny because like people are like, "Oh, I really want to try this. Like, can you point me in the right direction?" And then like the next question is like, "Where can I get a cheap one?"
Yeah,
And I'm like,
we're gonna get one for $50. Like,
exactly. But yeah, no, it's kind of a rabbit hole, but
oh, I
it's
mean,
it's a fun one.
any hobby once you get into like the hardcore of it, like,
Yes. But at least the nice thing I think, or at least my opinion, the nice thing about getting into audio and keyboards is there's not a huge depreciation
oh,
factor you
dude,
have to worry about.
yeah, especially keyboards.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh,
Exactly. Yeah.
like,
So like you'll buy things and it's like, oh wow, I'm gonna lose so much money in a few years, and it's like, whoa, I might have made
I
money
might,
on this. It's crazy.
dude, like I was looking at a keyboard and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this keyboard, and I saw that it was like the group buy for it was like a couple $100, right? I'm like, okay, so
Mhm.
I went and it was already passed by a couple months and I missed it, and it was one of the split key ones.
Okay.
Like Victoria. I can't think of the top of my head, but they're really nice. I really want to try one of those.
Okay.
And it's like they're all one. It's one big board. It's not like a dual, like a actual split, but it's like has like the
Okay.
it's like a
So that's probably like similar to the Alice then.
Alice. That's what it is. That's it is. Yes, I was
Okay.
looking at the Alice, and so I went to try to buy an Alice, and I was looking online for like already built ones, and it was like 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, and
Yeah.
I was like. Ugh.
Yeah. So fortunately, a lot of people are making like Alice clones now,
Mhm.
like nice ones.
Mhm.
But the original TGR Alice, I think the price is in the neighborhood of like
Yeah,
3,000, 3,500 right now.
I think
So
I was looking at like clones.
yeah, gosh. Yeah, no, even you're right. Even the clones are going for a ton. It's crazy.
It's
The problem
bananas.
is right now the keyboard community is in a stage of um, massive growth,
Hmm.
but the production and output of keyboards and key sets cannot keep up with the demand.
So
So you've
supply
got
and
this
demand is
huge gap. And that's what's driving up the price of everything. So like only like the super, super dedicated people are getting,
yeah.
Alice's and whatever keyboards are out there. So
FOMO culture is real in COVID world. I
oh my gosh, it is.
mean,
It's
look at the
terrible.
3080s right now. The 38. I mean, God, dude, that 3080 fiasco, man. Woo.
Don't. Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
Dude, I've had them in my cart like twice now, and like when you hit
Okay.
the buy, it's like poof, gone. Like wait, it
Yep.
was in my
Yeah.
cart. So is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, like so, real quick, any other projects you're working on at all? Like, does you have any future mats coming out, like desk mats or anything like that? You thinking about doing or?
So, yeah. I mean, I definitely want to make a few more. I don't know if like the key company will want me to return or not. I did sell quite a few, so maybe they will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've even considered like maybe just doing it like on my own accord, just opening up a website because I have like a web domain like
Mm-hmm.
blackriver35.com. So I could always start something with that and then like maybe release a few mats like a month or something just to see if people are interested. So yeah, that's definitely been in the back of my mind. The keyboard that I'm working on is going to be a big project,
Mm-hmm.
but you know it's progressing. So fingers crossed that that works out. But in terms of personal projects, one thing that I am also working on in addition to the computer is I'm actually going to build a desk.
Oh, nice.
So one thing that's been like that I've been like into for a while, but I've never tried is like resin coated desktops.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So there's like a company called Stone Coat Countertops that do like all these crazy marble designs and things
Mm-hmm.
of that sort. So I might actually try that. I haven't decided yet, but
That's cool.
the desk is it needs a little bit of an upgrade. Like I love IKEA, but I'm getting a little sick of things like breaking in my hands and replacing things because they're warping, you know.
uh,
So yeah, it's time for a change. It's time for something a little nicer.
I've seen a really dope couple of desks, and I wanted to do it too, and I just don't have the tools, or I should just do it. But it's the guy this guy took a big sheet of wood, and he cut
Mm-hmm.
it in half or cut it into three parts. I think the one I liked the most was he cut it in half, and it was like a big slab of wood, and then he put the pieces together, and, gapped them so there's like a river going through it basically,
Yep.
and then he laid like different really cool pebbles and like colored pebbles, and then he did this epoxy kind of thing, right? And then but
Yep.
in that he made it so where you had this row of LEDs underneath
Mm-hmm.
it, and so it like glowed, and it was like this. It was the dopest desk I've seen,
Yeah.
man. It was
It's
so
super
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so something like that would be really cool. I mean, I don't know how much that would be. That'd be expensive. I have a feeling.
Yeah,
So,
honestly, like the thing with those is I think the slab of wood alone is
mhm.
like really pricey.
Yeah, depending on the wood you
Um
get, that can be $1,000 to $2,000 just for the
yeah.
piece of wood. That's
Yep.
unfinished, and it's just literally a slab of wood that you need to do everything
Mm-hmm.
to.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
well, hey, man. Any questions for me? We're getting up on that hour marker, and anything you want to? What are your thoughts? Any things?
Man, I don't know. Do you have any like in like you said you were thinking about building a keyboard. Like what are you
Uh,
considering? Do you
so
have any questions about that? I
yeah,
mean,
I
I can
will.
definitely. Okay.
Once I get one, we'll see. Because it's still on. I still have to get one and stuff. But
Yeah.
um, I'm trying to get a Smith and Rune board. Hopefully, wouldn't
Okay.
mind getting one of those. Hopefully, see if I can get in on that. And then the drift.
Okay.
So the Austin R2, I think. I might have an
Mm-hmm.
in on that, so I might try and get one of those when they go. I think he has mentioned there's like a B stock that they're going to do potentially,
Okay.
so I might try and see if I can get in on that. But outside of that, like it's a whole lot of hurry up and wait and hope I get a board,
Yeah.
more than
I
anything
hear
else.
you.
But yeah, then once I do that, then I'm gonna have to go through and like I'll probably be pinging you and some other like it just those that the community be like, okay, what do I actually need to do now? Like what does it mean to do, what tool do I need to get to open up the stabs and get all the lubing them and making sure they have
Mm-hmm.
the right dampening and
Yep.
and I have a soldering station because I built the bottle head crack for a tube amp, but I think I need to get one of those little pin soldering for the keyboard ones, just like a smaller one, but.
Yeah, if you have the tips that you can swap out, then you just need
Small,
something small. You don't want the flat tip. You want
a needle
you're right,
nose
like
type
exactly
one.
like very thin. Yep.
Okay, so I'll probably
And
be
then
paying you for
you're
that.
fair enough. And the probably my biggest tip with soldering a board, like I mean, if you want hot swap, like
Hmm.
easy peasy. But if you're soldering a board, rosin core solder.
Rosin core. That's I have that for my bottle head. So that was everyone recommended it for my bottle head. So that's I do have a
It
bunch of
will
that
make
then.
your life 1,000 times easier. So
Because I think when I was building my bottle head, I was using lead free initially, and it was
okay.
like nothing was working. It was like such a pain in the butt. Then someone was like, "Dude, stop! Like, get the rosin core stuff." And then I did that, and it was like,
Yep.
it's like
Exactly. Exactly.
very very cool. Well, I think with that we're right shy of an hour.
Yeah.
If you any other questions I think, or I think other than that, man, I just wanted to kind of shoot the poo with you a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anybody in the
no,
chat
I
have any questions or anything like that? Hit us up, and then we can see if there's any there, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate you having me on.
No,
It's been
thanks.
fun. I
Thanks for
always love talking about this stuff, so
Yeah, we should do it.
it's good.
We should do it again. Like maybe like talk some more about the like specific like some of your more specific, even some of like your artwork and stuff. Because if you can see it in the background, if you can see it, he's got some pretty dope artwork in the background.
I do, yeah. Yeah, I've tried to get into like collecting a little bit, but like at my budget, it's difficult, I would say. Um, and the graffiti world is kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but it's you kind of need to know people to get stuff done,
Hmm.
like because people are very sensitive about like who they're talking with and all that kind of stuff. So, which is like understandable because a lot of what they do isn't legal.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, like it's really cool, and I have like a lot of respect for the art that they produce. So,
yeah.
I try to get what I can.
That's
So,
very very cool. It's like those Banksy stuff when he'll randomly just show up on the side of the
mm-hmm.
street and sell his artwork for like $10.
Yep, yeah, he's on another level too. It's crazy.
Very, very cool. Uh, well, I think unless you have any questions for me, my man, I think we could get on to the.
I don't think so. I'm sure if I get into the ZMF world, though, I will have some questions
Yeah,
for you.
hit me up, dude.
You seem like the guy, so
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
fair
Uh,
enough.
I know
That's
that
all I can ask.
ZMF usually has a lot of really good deals in November, so keep that in mind.
Noted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I got the I probably already missed it. Okay, never mind. It was a 3080 stock
Okay.
alert.
It's
Yeah,
awful.
I know, right?
I'm to tell you the truth, I'm really hoping that AMD comes out with something that rivals it,
Hmm.
because that'll like maybe break up the market a little bit, so you have an easier time getting the one you want.
Yes.
But yeah, right now it's not the greatest,
Yeah.
to say the least.
That's my hope too, man. I hope that they. I hope AMD like comes hard and that they're at a price point that's below the 3080, but is just if not competitive, if like right there. You know what I mean? Like,
Agreed.
and then that would
Yep.
pull a lot of the this crazy away, and we can maybe get some 3080s.
I'm with you.
So,
I'm with you.
oh yeah, man. Because
Yep.
I built a PC around getting a 3080 for Cyberpunk 2077. That's the game I want the 3080 for, and so I'm just
Okay.
waiting. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of building my computer around the 3080 as well. So, and also the new Ryzen chip coming out.
Oh
So,
yeah,
fingers crossed that we don't have 3080 problems with
yeah,
that,
right.
because otherwise I'm going to be jumping into the bot train and just to get my own, like not even to resell. I'm just going
Yeah,
to be buying a bot for myself. Like I'm not dealing with this.
yeah. Oh man, like
It's ridiculous.
it's insane, man. Then like even like the that was the other thing. Did you read the comments about the guy that created the bot to go against the eBayers and the resellers? And he,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
was tired. I was like, that's perfect.
I know exactly. I'm like, they deserve it.
Yeah, they
It's
totally deserve
crazy.
it. So I think it's perfect. I think it's something that that's the culture right now, right? I think it's just because there's not much else going on, so everyone has to like have that thing, right?
Everybody's at home just like typing away.
I need to
Yeah.
have this, yeah.
Yep.
So it's real, man. The struggle is real. That's what you're saying.
It really is.
So, right on. Well, hey, man. I hope you have. I think you're. It's pretty. What time is it there? Like 9 o'clock there, or?
It is. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So, well, hey, man. I don't want to keep you up too late on your Friday night and hanging out with your.
Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
So, right on, brother. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining and chatting with me.
Yeah,
We'll have to chat
thanks for
some more
having me.
on the Discords and all our fun stuff, and maybe jump
Of
into some
course.
games or something. And
Absolutely.
we'll have to, and then yeah, hit me up anytime you have any questions on headphones or anything like that, and I'll be happy to do my best to answer anything you have going on.
Will do.
And
Yeah.
I'll definitely be hitting
same
you
to
up.
you for computer or for keyboards. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
definitely be hitting you up, man. So, all right, man. Well, hey, thanks everyone for jumping in with us, and we'll see you guys another time. And definitely hit up Blackriver's Instagram and check out some of his artwork, and maybe hit him up if he's open to it to doing something for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Much appreciated.
All right, man. Hey, thanks everyone, and cheers, and see you next time. So, all right, have a good one.
Have a good night, everybody.